Hey friends, welcome to Tradition Café. I'm Anna Xavier, your host. Pull up a chair, grab your cup, and thanks for listening. George Bernard III. He approaches conversation the same way he approaches his work, with focus and with intention. He's a painter and illustrator whose practice moves between story, music, and motion. Color in his work behaves like music. The paintings hold a quiet intensity, asking the viewers to slow down and stay with them. When George talks about intention, he returns to a single idea: raising vibration. What follows isn't an explanation of the work. It's an entry point into how George sees, how he thinks, and how meaning takes shape on the canvas around us. Enjoy. Thank you. Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's Anna from Tradition Café, and I am here with George Bernard III. Welcome to the table.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to talk to you because I went to the Richmond main opening, and I was looking for you to meet you, but I'm so happy that I get to meet you here. You were born in El Paso, but raised in the Bay Area.
Texas.
El Paso, Texas,
Mhm.
and raised in the Bay Area. What age did you come to the Bay Area?
Very young, about
Mm.
7, 8 years old.
Oh,
And we lived on both sides. So we spend some time in California and then go back and live
oh,
a few years back in Texas. And mostly I was raised here in Fremont, California.
your heritage is from Senegal?
From stories that my grandfather has told, we may have originated from Senegal. As a diaspora African, I can't be too sure about that.
Did he have a lot of stories?
The stories that he told and the research that he did pointed in that direction. But of course, he wasn't that sure either.
Yeah. So it must have been generations back that
Yes,
your that your people came to
exactly.
the United States. Oh, okay. Let's talk about your work today, your art today.
Mhm.
Um, where does the where does the African diaspora show up most clearly in your art?
Most clearly, it shows up. I'm a portraitist, so I do a lot of portraits. When I began my illustration career, it was mostly portraits for periodicals. So it mostly shows up in the people and the subjects that I paint. So I paint the people around me, the people that I can see, that or people I can meet, the reference that I collect for my paintings. Mostly these days have a basis in Africa and a basis in the diaspora, whether it be jazz musicians or ladies in their regalia from Senegal or from Nigeria. Different subject. I'm intrigued by um, my history and the history of the Black people in this nation and the Americas and their religions. Yes.
Your grandfather.
Mhm.
He is the one who taught you how to paint, or
He took
he.
a lot of, yeah. I started instruction approximately 5 years old, and at my grandfather's knee, and then I was intrigued by the way he could depict a person with a pencil. It was something that was amazing to me, and so instruction consisted of me standing behind him while he painted and soaking up everything I could soak up. So just visually, I could remember each stroke.
Nice. Do you still use the same kind of paint? Do you, it-
Yes, I use the exact same
oil or
oil paint,
yeah?
right?
Okay.
And for
Yeah.
years, some of the paint, I used some of his paint, his actual paint that he had,
Really?
yeah, for a long
I
time. He used to
I
use
love that.
yeah, he used to use Grumbacher paint, which was when back in that time, it was the biggest, maybe the best oil paint that you could buy. So I had inherited a lot of those paints.
Oh, I love that. Did you use it all?
Oh, I used them
Just
all.
like
Yeah.
down to the like rolling up the
Mhm.
tube. You do with
To the last
old
drop.
tube of toothpaste.
The last
Just
drop. Not only that,
um,
but pastels, lots of
oh,
charcoal pencils, almost a whole studio left to me.
do you only work with paint or do you do drawings? What?
Um, I, I do charcoal drawings, pastels. Um, this thing that I particularly like called Caran d'Ache crayon, which is a water soluble crayon that you could. It gives you the effects of a cross between a pastel and a watercolor. And it's great for sketching because you can take them in a coffee shop or on the bus or something like that. If you want to capture somebody in color really quickly,
Hmm.
uh, it's readily available, and it's not wet. So
Oh, yeah,
there's,
that's
yeah,
convenient.
it's fast. It's really
You could
fast.
do it on the bus.
Yeah, very colorful. Mhm.
You went to art school, right?
Yeah, I went to
At,
the the Academy of Art, San Francisco University.
okay,
And yeah.
because you had made mention of the type of paint that your grandfather used. Did they let you use that in art school? Or was that because you said it
Yeah,
was way back in the day?
I use the same type of paint, but I had run out of his paint by that time.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
well,
I used the same type of paint for my assignments and uh, during the painting lectures, the painting studios. Use the same type. But the guys, when I went to school, I already knew what I wanted to do. I didn't have to go to school to find uh, myself. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. The only thing I had to figure out was my style. So uh, I didn't waste much time trying to find what I wanted to do. It was readily there.
did it change? Did your style,
Yeah,
evolve or did it yeah.
yeah.
How
Our
did how
school.
did
That's what our school's for. Your style
yeah,
will evolve as you see. The beauty of the academy is that the all the teachers were working artists.
okay.
So their techniques they were actually using what they were teaching. And of course, you would see various examples of artists' work. The best classes is when the instructor can draw in front of you. And
Oh,
yeah, I've had some great classes where, like anatomy classes, where a person can draw from the bone structure, add the muscles, add the skin over it, and then add the
oh,
light. Oh yeah, it was beautiful. I
oh,
can't do it. I can't do it yet, but I'm working on it.
maybe you should take, like, an anatomy class where you get to work with cadavers.
Oh no, that's a little too close for me.
I've done it.
How you out? Wow.
Well,
It's
not drawing, but
well,
digging around in there.
it's been done. I think when they during the Renaissance they used to
Yeah,
set
yeah,
and draw at the same time.
that's so
Yeah,
crazy.
that's hardcore for me.
Oof, yeah, imagine. Just the paint peeling off. Oh my god. So let's talk about, your painting. It's called Urban Magi, and that's the
Urban-
one that I fell in love with, and, I said that right? Urban
Yeah.
Magi? Okay.
Yes. You're right.
And, let's talk about that because there's some beautiful texture and, yeah, I want you to explain it because the people watching us right now are going to be able to either see it first and then come and hear you talk about it, or you talk about it and they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, I gotta see this," because you gotta explain her.
Well, Urban Magi was my call for people who practice the mystic arts to join together to change this current paradigm that we live in, to restructure what's going on, using their power to raise the vibration of the people around them. So in Urban Magi, you have the heroine who has the ability to use ancient powers. Believe that in some cultures, especially Yoruba, they would call it ashe. And this is a power that comes from the divine through the person, and they can use it if they know how to blend with it. So that was my attempt to show a person that could actually use ashe. And there's a lot of symbology in the painting where there's the person wears extremely long dreadlocks. And dreadlocks are a symbol of power, right? It takes patience to grow your dreadlocks, and the ancients would use dreadlocks not only as a symbol of beauty, but a symbol of their patience and power, letting everyone know exactly who they were. Right? And of course, she wears what I've modified as the clothing of a magi with its symbology attached to it, the ankhs, the symbols, Tao, crescent moons. And so she signifies her as a practitioner of the hidden arts. And what she's doing in the painting is displaying her power by pulling the moon out of its orbit and behind her. So she's actually pulling, so that just to symbolize that she is in line and in tune with the earthly forces.
Nice. She's a very powerful looking subject. And to be able to pull the moon, that is a lot of movement that you can actually see in the painting. And
Thank
the texture in, well, like in her dress, she's flowing. There just looks like there's even like you can see her twist, her dreadlocks. The texture in that is, I think I told you this before, it's like 3D.
you. Right. I'll infuse the painting with as much magic that I can muster, if you can call it that. The texture of the hair, like dreadlocks and African people's hair, have this wonderful texture to it that can be manipulated in a painting. Uh, Also repeated in the flowing of the attire she's wearing. So using your brushwork to simulate action in that flow of the robe that she's wearing um, adds to her movement
Mhm.
and gives you the feeling of the power that she's possessing.
Is that hard to learn? The creating movement with your brush? It
Uh,
yeah, that came out wrong.
it's it's
Portraying movement.
yeah, it's not hard to learn. You just got to know
Mhm.
what to look for, and it's almost you change the speed of your brushstroke.
Okay.
So if I wanted to simulate action, I would use a very active brushstroke, very quick, very strong. If I wanted something to have stillness to it, I would use a more solid and more steady brushstroke. You
Okay.
could also use something called dry brush, which is um, loading your brush with only a small amount of pigment and
Oh,
quickly pulling that pigment across so as it looks as if um, there's a skip pattern.
with that movement that you are able to capture, I know that you told me that you find a lot of inspiration with music. Talk to
Yes.
me about what kind of music you listen to, and is that always playing when you paint?
Um, I listen to jazz music mostly. Sometimes it depends on the subject matter also. So ambient music, um, stuff that really registers with your consciousness, right? So depending on the jazz you play, you're going to get something very lively, right? Because a lot of jazz is lively and it's gonna influence your brushwork. If you're painting something that's gonna take a long time, it's like maybe a large landscape or something like that, ambient music or classical music. really helps you steady yourself for the long haul. Mostly though, jazz is my favorite because I like the active brushwork that I create.
So are you like following the rhythm while you're, or what's happening? I
I really don't know what's happening. All I know is that I have a normal consciousness before the work begins, but somewhere in between the colors on the palette, the subject matter, and the canvas, that's where the magic happens. So I remember I told you I can see color
yeah,
through
I
music.
love
So
that.
musical notes can register as color in my mind, which I can then put on the canvas, and you can see that in the subject and the urban magi in her hair and on the gown that she's wearing. See, and it's almost as if musical notes were translated into color, and you could see the notes as they. Well, and I use these in spaces on the painting where it'll be most effective.
When you get inspired to create this piece of art, are you following the image or are you following the music first? What happens? How is this?
Well, what happens is you're first of all you're designing the image, right? That's the science of it. So you're drawing, you're creating form, you're using structure to make the image solid, and that's another mindset in itself. Once you've established that, you go into the color work, and that's where uh, that happens, where you can see the colors and the time disappears. Part of your persona leaves you, and you become one with the work, and also your mind is cruising through the cosmos. It's like it's a strange thing that's happened. That's why I couldn't describe to you exactly what's going on.
That's so great. It's so transcendental. You're
It's
just like
yeah,
transported into
that's a good
another.
word. Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah.
It brings you into another plane, I
So
guess.
most of us artists call it a flow state, which is a different level of brainwave.
Is that like a runner's high?
No, the runner's high is usually after because of the
Oh.
endorphins that have been put in the body from the running. This
Oh.
is more like meditation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh god. That sounds so satisfying. Is it hard to come out of that? Like if
It's
somebody
actually
interrupts you, is it really
no.
difficult?
You switch. You can switch in and out. Um, I've actually been in the studio painting. It's better when you're alone, of course, but I can actually
Mhm.
talk and do the same and still have be in the flow state. It's not something that it's difficult to get into. I think most artists go into a flow state when they paint,
Mhm.
and I don't know. Each artist has a different experience. Mine is like I can transfer musical waves into color waves. So
Yeah, and so when you were talking about raising the vibration in
mhm.
your work, what do you hope that people feel when they're standing in front of your painting? Um,
Well,
how will they know that the vibration is hitting them?
that I wouldn't know because I'm
Yeah.
not in the skin. But what I'm hoping though
Yeah.
is they are able to reach a level of flow by looking at it, the same level of flow that I get from painting it.
Nice.
That's the goal. I don't know yet if that's happening, right? But I do know that's the goal. And
Yeah.
and if they can enjoy that painting the way I enjoyed painting it, that's one because um, if you look at most of the artwork, a lot of artwork, especially artwork coming out of the African and diaspora, the paintings, the sculpture, dance, they're all channeling something. They're all in tune with something. And the sharing of it is the benefit of us all, right? My favorite sculptures from Africa are from Benin, the Benin bronzes. And every time I see a Benin bronze, just my mouth just salivate.
They're
So, yeah,
breathtaking, yeah.
yeah. And so it's sending me into that flow state. It's pulling from my genetic memory, and it's telling me the story of a people. This is what I'm trying to do with my painting, and I'm hoping that they experience that also.
You were in the Coast Guard for a while, so you did get to travel around and see lots of different cultures, right?
Yeah, I get to travel around and see. Coast Guard doesn't go too far. It's not like the Navy, but I did
Okay.
get to different places. Like Jamaica was my favorite place. Jamaica, Jamaica was actually the most beautiful place I've ever seen, and the people there were gorgeous. So, yeah.
How did that stick with you? Did you see it, did you see your art change at all after you've been to Jamaica?
Um, well, when I was in the Guard, I also drew and painted, and it was like second nature to me. So it was a
Mhm,
discipline. I carried that discipline through. I joined the Coast Guard when I was 22. So I held that discipline as I changed from a kid to a man. I changed from a kid to a man in the Coast Guard,
mhm.
and I saw a lot. Yeah, a lot of things beautiful, some things completely evil.
Mm,
But art during that time was a way for me to navigate my way through the Coast Guard.
mhm.
Uh, and I did a lot of work, uh, not showing anybody, I didn't show any work. It was
Oh,
a
really?
way, no, it was a way for me to understand what was going on. And it raised my consciousness a bit.
Raised your vibration.
Yeah, that too. And in meeting people, when you go to different, because if you've never been out of the country before, what do you know? So,
Right,
you know,
right.
you, and then to see different cultures at that young age
Mhm.
was really amazing to me. Right?
It's important to learn about
Yeah,
other cultures, I think.
I
Different
wish I
mm,
got more travel in at that age, but I could only go
yeah,
with it.
you're not dead yet.
Yeah, oh, yeah. We're planning to do some more traveling now,
We're not on the ground.
but I think it affects you more at that age.
Yeah.
You're that young. It seems. So
Well, that's
when
true
you're
because
when you're
everything's
older,
so
you enjoy.
new.
Yeah, when you're older, you enjoy it more. But
Mm,
when you're young, you learn more.
that's actually a really good way to look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because by the time you're our age, I'm assuming we're around the same age.
Mhm.
I
The
don't know.
same. I'm probably older than you.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Late 50s.
Um,
Um, so you're
same here.
younger.
No, I'm no, really. Yeah. I'll be
Um,
playing soon.
but by the time you hit our age, when you hit, I like to say middle age because maybe I'll live to be 100,
Mm,
you know,
let's hope.
knock on wood.
I'm
Uh,
hoping.
yeah, right. But I mean, imagine how much you know then about the other cultures, and you've done so much reading or so much listening to
Yeah,
stories. You've done you've learned a lot. But you're right. When you're younger,
yeah, and you're
um,
not carrying your baggage around when you're younger. You don't have any baggage yet.
uh, yeah,
So all you're doing is learning.
yeah, you think you do, but by the time you get it's like, them
But yeah,
bags heavy.
but you haven't. Yeah, you don't know. You think, yeah, you think you do it. You
It's
don't
like,
know anything.
yeah, need a porter for mine. Those bags are heavy. Um, so this is I encourage everybody to go and look at George's work. They can also find you on Instagram. Is that true?
Yeah, Bernard underscore illustrations underscore 2021 and Bernard illustrations on Facebook. Check me out. I got a lot of my work on there. Some of the classes that I teach, some of the stuff
Oh,
uh, is on. I like to do is I like to take pictures of the board lecture because I draw on the board and
would
I
you?
bring it. I do examples in the class. So I put some of that stuff up too.
Where are you teaching? Can somebody go and
Oh,
register for
yes,
a class?
they can. It's at the West Contra Costa Adult Education System.
Okay.
So, teaching a class right now called Heads and Hands 1 and Heads and Hands 2, two classes. And they'll be opening up again for registration in the spring. So,
That's great. Find his class and find him on Instagram and Facebook. It's been so wonderful getting to know you. And I'm so glad that you agreed to pull up a seat to the table at Tradition Cafe. I appreciate it.
oh, thank you very much. I was proud to be here.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you there.
All right. Come on,
All
everybody.
right.
I'll be
All
looking for it.
right. Cool. Thanks. Bye. The Art of the African Diaspora Satellite Exhibition at Resistance Press and Studio 23. The project is made possible through the generous support of our sponsors who believe in the power of art and community. Julie's Coffee and Tea Garden is a serene, community-centered space in Alameda, offering organic coffee, herbal teas, and wholesome food, created to nourish both body and mind. Digifly is a grassroots, homegrown digital flyer distribution company made by locals for locals. Think of it as an electronic community billboard. Digifly's screens are all over the East Bay and seen by over 150,000 locals monthly. You'll see digital flyers for East Bay restaurants, retail shops, comedy clubs, art shows, museums, concerts, all the things that make the East Bay such a great place to live. Whether you are trying to get the word out about your business or upcoming event, or you're just looking for something fun to do this weekend, you need to check Digifly. Visit digifly.com to learn more and find local events. Art Push is an artist-run nonprofit that supports artists by creating exhibitions, workshops, and community events, making sure art is seen, shared, and experienced behind the gallery walls. Visit my website at traditioncafe.com. You can also reach out to me at anna@traditioncafe.com. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, but you can watch us on YouTube.